No, you're fine.
Shorter one. Council meeting for the day with special issues that night. Oh. That was great. They figured it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Anybody else home?
I kind of like it at 6. But I kind of like it at 6. Well, since we do this for them. Pretty much sums up Wall Street. Yes. Oh, since they have a new council member, it's been more every time.
That was a great work session. This was just those two basically.
Actually, I looked over there.
Huh?
Actually, I looked over there. Oh, it is.
Okay, we will, it is now 7 p.m. for the 13th February meeting, and I need a motion to call meeting to order.
I make a motion to convene.
And a second. I second. All in favor? Thank you. We got some other guests coming, but they're a little slow getting here, so we're going to go to the invocation. Reverend Brunner, would you mind coming up and give us an invocation, please, sir? Sorry, you're filling in. Reverend Cochran's a little slow tonight. But he has an excuse, he's with the mother.
Whoa. That's not good, okay? You know what I like to tell everybody to do? I hope you mean it tonight. I want you to turn to the person to your right and tell them you love them. Love them. I'll say, so does God.
And here he is. Yes. Hold a second.
You want to bring him up?
They're coming on in right now. Reverend Cochran, bring Mr. Salome in. Come right on down front there, Reverend Cochran. If you want to sit right there in the front seat right there to start, Reverend Cochran, just let the boy go.
Dear Mayor, City Council, guests of honors this evening, let us pray. Eternal God, we thank you for this another evening when citizenry can come together, voice our opinions, hear our elected officials, and keep this great city growing. As we continue to pray for unity, we pray for each other, for all the institutions that we support. Now bless us all, we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. Well, we will rise and do the pledge of allegiance. Motion to approve the council meeting minutes of 1/9/2012.
I make a motion to do so.
I'll second.
All in favor? 4, 5 opposed. I need a motion to approve the special call meeting minutes of 1/25/2012.
I make a motion to do so.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
The minutes for 125.
Okay.
As the minutes reflect that I was absent on that particular meeting, my question is concerned the procedural way that call. I received an email indicating that this was a reminder. My question is, was there an original notification for this meeting? And if so, I did not get one. And the charter states that for all special call meetings, that a telephone call is required. And I did not get that. So I just want to state in the minutes that I did not get that call. I did not get the proper notification. My question is, was the citizens notified of this meeting in the proper manner? But I just want to go on record for the fact.
I believe that Nicole, all right, can y'all address that, how we announced it?
Mayor and Council, I believe it was posted in the newspaper.
It was posted in the newspaper and also on the website.
Okay. The original notification to the council, was that by phone or was that by email? The original.
I believe it was by email.
The original. Because what I got was a day and a half before that event. And the only reason I'm speaking of this, I think our judges do require that respect from all the council members to be in attendance when they are sworn in. And I want to apologize to the judge for not being there, but I had questions as to the procedure as how this call meeting was called. Because I did not get the original message. I did not get a phone call. So I got the notification of a reminder, but my question is, what happened to the original notification? Nicole?
I apologize if you did not receive it. I will check my emails to make sure. I guess the original one was sent to me.
I did send out an email at least 2 weeks in advance. It wasn't the actual notification, it was just letting you all know that that's when the meeting was going to be held.
Because I think Councilman Cochran in our conversation had issue with that also because he did not get that. But I just want to go on record.
And I got no.
I just want to go on record.
Okay. So I have a motion by Mr. Steinberg and a second by Mr. Cochran. All in favor of these minutes for the 125? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0. Thank you. And your comments are so noted, Mr. Thomas. A motion to approve the work session meeting minutes of 2/7/2012.
I make a motion to approve them.
And a second.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? 2, 3, 4, 5, 0. Okay, at this time, we have a Black History presentation.
Yeah, Ms. Sarah Phillips is going to come up and speak.
Good evening. Well, I'm Sarah Phillips, and I'm with the Henry County NAACP, and I'm going to do a very brief presentation on Black history. I had planned to approach this one way, but then I went to service at Floyd Chapel Baptist Church on Sunday, and I left out of there. And it had taken me all the way back to where I was born. I was born in Aliceville, Alabama. And I grew up very poor. And what I want to talk about is the other Black history. I mean, we know that when we think of Black history, the first thing that we think about is, Kunta Kinte being strung up and somebody making him say his name is Toby. Or we think about people using water hoses on children and flattening them up against buildings and trees, or we think about, the Salem March and people chasing people on horses and people being beat and all kinds of things like that. And that's true. That is a part of our history. It's a very horrible part of our history. But there is another Black history. And that's the one that I left for chapel with yesterday. And that's the one that I want to talk about today. I want to talk about being in the kitchen with my grandmother, who cooked on a wood stove. I don't know how many of you know anything about that, but I grew up very poor. We were extremely poor, and that is a part of our history, because most of us did not have money. I'm one of the baby boomers, and in Aliceville, Alabama, my mother worked for $2 a day. She made $10 a week. And she worked 7 days a week so that she could give us the things that she wanted us to have. But we were not every day living in a place of unhappiness. We actually, we knew about all of the craziness that was going on all around us. That was one TV in my hometown, because everybody was poor. So in the evening, we all used to gather at that house, and the kids sat on the floor, and the adults sat around the room, and we all watched the news. And now I look at Eyes on the Prize, and I see things that I saw as a kid. So, we were fully aware of everything that was going on, but our lives didn't evolve around that. We had an everyday existence that was very happy. We had moments. I sure didn't like when Mama used to get that butt, you know, I used to be like, whoa, did I really do that? But I did, and she did, and it made me a better person. Today, the psychologists say, you know, touch your child. Well, I don't want to be a social worker, and I don't believe that. And I've said it through the years to many parents. I'm not one of the social workers who tell you don't touch your child, because I think you have to establish boundaries. Because if you don't teach your kid, society will. So my mother taught me, and I believe that parents should teach their kids. But we had so many things that stand out in my head. And I was so full of my history, the other black history. I remember 4th of July. I don't know how many of you had the kind of 4th of July that we used to have. I mean, we've all heard it takes a village to raise a child. Well, the 4th of July for us was a community time. That was a community day. All of the men got together, and they sometimes would dig a hole and put something across it, and then they would throw the meat on there. And then the men made that sauce. You know, I mean, now we run to the store, we buy our sauce. But the men made their own sauce, and they had a stick. And with that stick, they tied a rag on it. You know what I'm talking about, Pastor Corbin? They tied a rag on that stick, and they soaked that stick down in that sauce. And then they swabbed that meat. And that was the best barbecue that you could ever get in your life. That was part of my history. It takes a village. And I remember my mother making me go to visit people that were sick. And I used to fuss all the way there. I'd be walking and fussing, but then you had to go, and then we took a seat, and we sat down, and we actually talked to them. A lot of the things that I learned about slavery and stuff, I learned in some of those conversations as they talked to us and told us about what it was like when they were growing up. And once I grew up, I understood the wisdom that my mother had with her 4th grade education, that she set standards for us. There were things that she didn't allow us to do. And we knew better than to cross those lines. We knew that there were things that we had to do. And caring about people who were not able to help themselves, that was one of the things that we had to do. That's part of the other black history. It wasn't just my mother. Everybody took care of each other. If you didn't have flour and somebody else didn't have sugar, then you gave them a cup of sugar and they gave you a cup of flour. Because that was how we did it. That was how I grew up. And I think about now how, you know, we all live in our homes. I mean, we always lived in our homes, but, you know, people used to sit out on the porch, and people used to go from house to house. They used to visit. You can actually live next door today to someone for who knows how many years and never actually know the person that lives next door to you, 2 or 3 doors down. And that's a very sad state of affairs that we've gotten there. You know, and I'm glad that I grew up in a time when everybody knew everybody. Because I wasn't glad then, by the way. I remember being across town acting out. And somebody said to me, Gal, you know better than that. I'm going to tell your mama on you. And they meant it. They really meant that they were going to tell your mama on you, and then they told your mother on you. But you know, I'm glad that I grew up in a time when people cared enough about the people around them that they did that. Because today, you tell a kid that, you know better than that. You don't have to worry about the kid getting there, because sometimes it's the parent who will come looking for you. How dare you talk to my kid like that? You know, I'm a retired school social worker, and I've seen many families run up to the school to jump all over the teachers because they said something to their child. You couldn't get them to a PTA meeting. You couldn't get them to come into any kind of community meeting that made sense. But you say something to their kid that they didn't like, and they were at the school, and they were ready to tell you off, and they were ready to throw down. I can't tell you how many times I put my arms around somebody and said to them, why don't you come with me? Let's go down here. Go to my office. Let's sit for a minute. Because they needed to calm down. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad that I grew up in a time where people could tell you to knock it off because they cared about you and they cared about what you did. I grew up in a time where people encouraged you to go to school. They encouraged you to go and do everything that you could. And they reminded you all the time that they never, ever, ever had that opportunity. And they used to tell us, you all have so much opportunity. And I look now at the kids and I think, my God, they've got everything. All they have to do is take advantage of it. Just do it. Don't drop out of school. Dropping out of school in my hometown was a disgrace because people knew that you needed an education if you were going to go any place in this world. As I said, my mother had a 4th grade education. But I grew up hearing like the tom-tom of a drum. You will go to college. You will go to college. You will finish school. That was my mother's thing. And in our community, I remember the first girl that I ever knew who went to college because people couldn't go to college. They couldn't afford it. You didn't have all these grants and things that people have now. So when someone could go to college, it was a big deal. And the whole community turned out at their house, just sitting, talking, watching while they got their child prepared to go away to college because it was a big deal. I was the first person in my family to graduate from college. But I was followed by my niece, and then my other niece, and then my sister and my brother. I mean, we went to school, and I was just as adamant about my nieces and things growing up and going to school as my mother was about me. I mean, to me, talking about dropping out of school was like me wanting to leap around their throat and choke them to death, but I don't think we're allowed to do that. I don't think we're allowed to choke kids, are we? But I'm glad I didn't have to test that because all of my nieces and things graduated from high school and most of them went on to college or they went into the service or whatever. But, you know, the other black history is the one that we can't afford to forget because that's the one that actually makes us who we are. I remember church. I remember how we used to go to church because church was the center of our community. Church was what we did. And we went way out in the country to church and you could hear, we didn't have the choirs and we didn't have the guitars and the organs and all of that stuff. Some of them didn't even have a piano. But when you got out of the car, you could hear the singing. And that was a rhythm that we had, and every church had it. There was a heel-to-toe rhythm to every song. And you picked and you felt it all in your bones, and you'd jump in there and you'd be singing, and they'd be singing. Singing was one of the things that we did. I mean, it had nothing to do with the things that were going on around us. We just had a really good time. So I just wanted to take a few minutes and take you down memory lane and let you know that there was another black history. That in addition to all of the bad days, that we had some really good days. That we all knew what community meant and we all cared about each other. And it's important for us to remember that. Now we have a film that raised on the show, and then I'm coming back for 2 seconds, and then we'll move on. Thank you.
Mayor and Council, we have a Black History Month video that we'll show. It's about 10 minutes long.
Okay.
I'm not sure which one. The 8? Thanks. I'm gonna
I want you all to meet my aunt, Sally Franks, Pastor Edward Charles Cochran of Floyd Chapel, Mr. Eugene Edwards, President of the Henry County Branch, NAACP, and Mother Morgan. It is my honor It is my honor to present this award to the Floyd Chapel Baptist Church. The Stockbridge Historical Footprint Award recognizes the everlasting impression of community contribution to the city of Stockbridge. In 1917, on the grounds of Floyd Chapel Baptist Church, there stood a one-room school. And there was a student by the name of Michael King, later named Martin King Sr. It is here where Daddy King gained a sense of a call to preach and was trained by the ministers of the church. At age 15, he preached his first sermon and was licensed to preach. On behalf of the city of Stockbridge and the Henry County branch of the NAACP, we are honored to present the Stockbridge Historical Footprint Award to the Floyd Chapel Baptist Church as the local church where Martin King Sr., Daddy King, preached his first sermon at the age of 15. Thank you.
Now, Sally Mae's 92, but don't let that fool you. She's got a driver's license just renewed. Oh, I'm not supposed to tell her either.
Oh, well, I realize I am 92 years old, and I grew up in Floyd Chapel Baptist Church, the only church I ever went to. And this is my running ground, Stockbridge. I was raised here. I was born in Jasper County, but my parents brought me here as an infant. So all I know is Stockbridge. I know all about the Stone, Miss Jennifer Clark, Miss John Hayes, Mr. Cook, all of them. But anyway, I'm so glad to be able to stand here tonight and accept this award of Dr. King. Yes, I knew him. We all went to school up to the kid. They was grown, but I remember this. And Dr. Martin Luther King, he was a member, the whole family was a member at Floyd Chapel Baptist Church. And later years, Dr. King, Daddy King, the King is mixed up, well, he left Floyd Chapel, preached his first sermon at Floyd Chapel, and left and went to Atlanta. And that's where he went and become a pastor. And his son, they always visit our church, so they was well acquainted here. And I would like, if that was presented to me, I would like to present it to my pastor of 21 years. Thank you.
Quite a bit has been said. I want to first of all say I thank God for the opportunity to be a part of history. And where this award is concerned, I want to first of all say to the Floyd Chapel Baptist Church, I thank God for your steadfastness and your faithfulness where ministry is concerned. I want everybody in here who's a part of a church anywhere to understand what Mother Sally Mae just said to you. She joined Floyd Chapel Baptist Church at 6 years old. That was back in 1926. She's only been a member of one church. Many of us can say that we've been many churches. But guess what? The reality of it is there's something we've all learned. That people and churches and community changes. you've got to be steadfast and not expect everything around you to be steadfast. I thank God that tonight, on behalf of not just Mother Sally Franks, but all of the members who can be dated back, his mother, who paid for our parking lot to be paid, and members like her, the George Franks, the Jacob Edmonds, even one of your city council members, Mr. Buddy Turner, who's a part of that community. They made this happen, not us who are receiving it. So I think that we ought to give God a shout out for that.
From Floyd Chapel Baptist Church. I'll be 78 years old this year, and I am so happy and so excited to be with you all tonight. I'm just overwhelmed, and I don't know what more to say.
If you don't think she can't cut a rug, I got pictures over here. At her birthday party, she was out cutting a rug. So she's still out walking around. You'll see her out now. This is our history right here. And thank you so much for all you've done for us. Thank you. Cameron, is you able to get a still photo?
Yeah, of YouTube. Yeah, of YouTube. Try it again. Can we do it again? Just a picture. Yeah. See if we can get in. Okay.
Nice to see that, Kurt.
You want us to pass the offer plate for you? Just leave it outside. Thank you so much. That's great. Thank you. Okay, next, I want to welcome some guests here. I'm not sure if everybody was again. There's a Boy Scout team over here. Right? I want y'all stand. Tell us who you are. What's true. Okay. Give them my horse. Just tell us who you are and where you're from.
We're Troop 115. In Stockbridge.
In Stockbridge. All right.
We're doing a merit badge, citizenship in the community, and one of our sign-ups is to come to one of these meetings.
Are you the ones that got the email today that need to talk to them? Okay, all right, I got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Thank you for coming. Just remind, who's the Floyd Chapel people are here? If you just stand up, they'll stand up. You record everybody stand. Show the Floyd Chapel we got here. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much. We have the Avondale State people. Some folks are here. You want to come on up and make a presentation you'd like to make?
Good evening, Mayor and Board of Commissioners. We are honored to be here. I'd like to thank Ray for letting us come. We've come to kidnap David Milliron and take him back to Avondale. I'm just kidding. It's okay. Don't be afraid. No, we've come because David Milliron was a big part of the Avondale Estates Business Association for 4 years. He was very vital and crucial to everything that happened. He put his money where his mouth was. He kept us abreast of everything that was going on. He frequented the businesses. He supported the business association. He supported the community. He reached out on many, many levels. I know that he will do the same tenfold for you here. We had planned to give this award to him at our meeting, which is tonight, when I found out that y'all have your meetings on the same night that we do. So as the Vice President of the Avondale Estates Business Association, I'd like to call David Milliron up, please. Jesse, will you go stand with him up front? The Avondale Estates Business Association would like to recognize you for all the work that you did on our behalf, behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, for all that you did in support of us. And I know you will continue to do what you can on our behalf. But we're also excited for you about the opportunity. This plaque is in honor of the dedication and the service that you provided to the Avondale Estates Business Association, and we hope that it will proudly hang in your new office in your new city. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving us a minute.
You're welcome. And Stockbridge makes their revenue off of sales tax, so we'll figure out what we're going to charge you for presenting that. And we can raise money here. Thank you for coming and doing that. With that, we have no old business, new business. We have under item number 1, for y'all to understand, we have a consent agenda, and I'll read the resolutions. They're all in one. We have a resolution authorizing approval of the agreement for the purchase of chemicals for the water reclamation facility. We have a resolution approving the proposed watershed protection plan for the EPD. A resolution appointing members of the Board of Ethics Committee. A resolution authorizing to approve an agreement with Smith, Welch, Webb & White for the legal representation in connection with the loss negotiation, and authorizing an agreement with Brown Pelican Consulting for the same, and an agenda request for the Faith of Nations Christian Center requesting a temporary use permit for the worship place in 1951 Highway 42 North. All those on the consent agenda, and I'll take a motion to approve those.
Mayor and Council, Mayor, that this consent agenda is not correct.
Which one do I do? Take it off. Okay, we stand corrected on. Okay. Okay. The consent agenda will be minus the appointing members of the Board of Ethics Committee. With those, so we'll just have 4 on it. Motion to approve those 4. So moved. Have a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
I want to make clear that for the Smith, Welch, Webb & White, it was $135 an hour for their hourly rate that we were going to look into from last week.
Okay, under planning and zoning, we have none. Under resolutions, ordinances, and agreements, we have number 2, presented by Ray Gibson, City Administrator, resolution authorizing the city to approve installation traffic control devices and signage at 80th Forest Drive and Harvick Center and Parkland Estates.
Mayor and Council, at the work session last week, I was asked to pull together an exact cost of materials to complete this project. For the 80th Forest subdivision for 2 speed bumps, we came up with a total of $1,268.95. For the Parkland Estates subdivision, we came up with $1,174.36 for a total of $2,443.31. We support this resolution.
Motion.
I move to adopt the resolution, please.
And I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 voted. Thank you. And item number 3 is presented by Ray Gibson, City Administrator's resolution authorizing appointing members of the Board of Ethics. Okay.
Mayor and Council, at the work session, there was discussion about your particular appointments, and the council themselves had to make one more appointment, and that's why we're hearing it tonight again, to make sure that it's voted on and that all the members are properly appointed. There'll be 1 member for the council. Your members, Mayor Stewart, have already been chosen, and you'll have to say their names and get them approved by council.
So my appointment was Ms. Yvonne Beaver as the board member. She's for a 2-year term. And then the nomination for the chairperson was Attorney Paul Roberts. And he's the attorney. And then your appointment is?
It's Linda Glad.
Ms. Glad. Okay. I have a motion for that.
I move that we adopt these individuals for the Ethics Board.
I second the motion.
Any discussion? You second. All in favor? 3, 4, 5 vote. Good. Thank you. Item 4. Is George Spotty here? I saw him come in, but I think he's been. Oh, I'm sorry, George. We have an agenda request by George Spotty, discussion letter request to mayor and council to read into the records.
Good evening. You look good, actually, since the last meeting. I requested this meeting, the reading of this letter because I felt it was necessary. Today I met with Mayor Stewart for about an hour to discuss the parameters of the letter and the response to it. And it basically is dated January the 10th to Mayor Stewart. And this is
Can you speak? Somebody's can't hear you.
I've never been asked to speak louder. This is Dear Mayor Stewart and Honorable City Council. I'm writing to request the following information. The city's official appointment process and legal procedure. The resumes and credentials of any appointments approved or will be approved. An official list of all the appointments, which include the city clerk, the treasurer, city attorney, municipal court judge, associate solicitor, auditor, city surveyor, and public works director. The official list appointment made by the city council in the amended agenda item was not supplied by the city clerk and by the city council and to the citizens and taxpayers of the city of Stockbridge. That was basically an omission that was kind of embarrassing to the mayor who had not seen the agenda. The resumes and credentials of all the appointments and the creation of a review process of all appointments for the view of the city residents. The contract review of all appointments by city residents, public copies on contracts by appointment by the mayor and the city council, a copy of all the recommendations by the city attorney, Andy Welch, and the appointments on the selected personnel. Copies of the adopted verified certification application process on illegal immigration to confirm citizenship on each appointment and contract. I made a recommendation that public comments review and create a transparent citizen participation process that encourages public comments by the citizens and residents of the city of Stockbridge before council voting on pertinent financial and program matters, officially enforcing the state of Georgia's Open Records Act and the established liberties guidelines of the United States Constitution to promote open governance. Assess and utilize the legal service of the city attorney and legal counsel to prepare written legal opinions before city legal matters are discussed and approved by the mayor and city council. Request all the copies of correspondence, the notes, minutes with the Henry County government on code enforcement contract and the staff selection hired by the county on agenda item 5. And I noted a congratulations to all the new city council people. We definitely need your new blood up in the city council. It shows what you can do when you have a meeting like tonight, where the citizens of the city were here applauding a very worthy cause. And I hope this continues. I really enjoyed it, and I thank you very much for the opportunity to speak tonight.
Thank you. If I may, I want to, Jack, turn it over to you. If you'll explain to the citizens, and we're getting a lot of requests about the freedom of information stuff, and you'll explain to them what, so they have a better understanding of what we're trying to do.
Well, I'm glad to. I think it's important for the citizens who are interested in government, as well as you all know, as we've explained it to you, to understand that the Open Records Act requires the production of records. It does not require the answering of questions. And the answering of questions certainly can be done on an individual basis if you choose to do that. However, a formal request under the Open Records Act only requires that the government produce those documents responsive to that request that you have in your possession. We had notified Mr. Espada of the documents that were in the possession of the city, that those would be made available for him to review, and I think you've met with him about that, and that's in the process of being accomplished as we gather those, give him the opportunity. Also, the way the Act works, so the citizens will also be aware of that. There is a charge that the Act provides for the time required over 15 minutes to obtain the information and for someone to sit with the citizen and review the information. Then if the citizen wants copies of the documents, then the law allows and provides for a charge of 15 cents per page. That's what the law says. That's the process it has to go through. Several of the open records requests that we have reviewed so far have had a number of questions. And I think that's the important thing for the citizens to understand is that is not a forum by which questions can be answered. You certainly are welcome to ask your individual councilperson or the mayor. To the extent that they're able to answer those questions, they're free to do that as long as they're not privileged matters. However, the Open Records Act does not require the city to answer questions or to create documents that they don't have. So that's just the process that we will follow in advising you and in responding to open records requests that you forward to us, and citizens can know about that.
Thank you. And does anybody have any questions on that? Because we're starting to get inundated a little bit with it, so I thought it was best to have the city attorney give an explanation for it. Ms. Gilbert.
Last time, I was under the impression, and believe it to be a fact,
You come up with this, we all can't hear up here.
Thank you. I believe that the city of Stockbridge charges 25 cents a page, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what the law provides, yes.
Yeah, I think you said 15 cents, and I
No,
just...
if I did, I was wrong. It was 20.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that somebody didn't get a surprise.
If I said 15, I'm wrong, so thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Anyone else have a question? Okay, with that, we have no business license, we have none. What we're going to do at this time, we're going to take the public comments. And first on the public comments list is Ms. Marilyn Flynn to discuss district representation.
Mr. Mayor and council members, I certainly appreciate your allowing me to do this, and I thank you for this presentation tonight because it's so appropriate. I wanted to ask each council member and the mayor their opinions on when we are going to approach redistricting. But in light of and in honor of Black History Month, I want to point out to you that in 1964, John Kennedy started his war on poverty. And the next year they passed the Voting Rights Act. The war on poverty provided funds to serve children living below the poverty level through Head Start programs. We still do not have a Head Start program in Virginia County, and there are too many children living in poverty. And these are the children burdened here are school dropouts. So to the people in the NAACP, you still have a big battle ahead. We need representation for those children. They are not being given a fair opportunity to learn. And I think they would have better representation if we go to districting. So therefore, Ms. Cushman, are you going to move ahead on redistricting? Mr. Thomas, Mr. Steinberg, I know all of you said you were going to, but when is it going to be put on the agenda so that we can elect council members by districts? And I'd like to ask Mr. Alcorn and Mr. Cochran if you are in favor of voting council by districts.
Jack, I'll defer to the attorney.
Public comment opportunity is that it is an opportunity for you to comment. It is not an opportunity for you to question the council and the asking questions and the responding is not something that's permitted under that.
May I propose that it be on next month's agenda? Thank you.
Next we have Carla Harrell, discussion of open records.
Good afternoon. Mayor Stewart, I sent you an email earlier today requesting some information, and my letter is pretty similar to the gentleman that was up here earlier. And with regards to what the attorney had to say, it was saying that you would have a lot of that information on your city website, so you wouldn't be getting all these requests for this type of information. And it's though the city is trying to hide job descriptions, salaries, and qualifications of the people that are put in certain positions. And so basically, you know, that may be something that the city would want to consider, is putting a lot of information on the website so that people can find this information and you won't have being overwhelmed with these type of requests. And yes, I did put in for an Open Records Act on the Meeks case. I would like to see the documents with regards to that particular case, the selling of that land. But I think that, you know, the citizens of Stockbridge and of this community should not have to jump through hoops to find out what is going on in the city.
And so I would just ask for the council just to consider, being a little bit more open with this type of information. I see it on other city websites, but it's like Stockbridge has something to hide. And, I think the citizens of Stockbridge really need to come together and really see what's going on here in city government. Thank you.
And just to note, I did pass it to the attorney, Jackie. You have a comment?
I do have a comment, Mr. Mayor. I have you forwarded me a copy, and we will respond to it appropriately according within the time frame permitted under the statute.
Okay. Thank you. Next, we have Kathy Gilbert to talk about website response.
Mayor and Council, I just wanted to say that I have had a chance to look at the new website. I believe there's a lot of good information on there. It's about time. However, I signed up for notification under that website for notifications of meetings, for agendas produced electronically that should have been provided to citizens that sign up on the website for that service. I have received no correspondence or communication from the city as a result of my signing up on the website for that information. And I'm wondering, I would hope that you would address that issue and make sure that those responses will be forthcoming. Thank you.
Thank you. Staff has it moved. Next, we have Mike Moon for a presentation. Give him a mic there.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. How's everybody doing? Everybody there? Citizens, council, mayor. Got something here for you. This is a nice little proclamation for you guys and for the city. I won't read it to you. Proclaiming the city of Stockbridge, state of Georgia, county of Henry, the Southern Crescent City of History for Black History Month, for historic remembrance of Reverend Martin Luther King Sr. for February 2012 to the citizens and leadership of said city with respect and pride for this former citizen of the city of Stockbridge. Thanks is given to the following officials: Lee Stewart, Mayor; Mark Alarcon, Mayor Pro Tem; Harold Cochran, Honorable Council Member; Robin Bushman, Honorable Council Member; Richard Steinberg, Honorable Council Member; and Alfonso Thomas, Honorable Council Member. With the gracious thanks of the National Historic Preservation Trust of the United States of America, given by lifetime member Dr. Mike Moon. This is for you guys.
Thank you.
Everybody. And that's all. The first thing I have here is something from Mayor Stewart. He thought there was something very sinister going on because I got an email from him about a guy named Tony talking to the Saponi Indians.
And people don't talk.
I know, but I do go to the... Guess what, though? I went to the back door. And in that back door, this is for you, my friend. This is not nothing ugly. This is something nice. It's for Leland C. Stewart III, Mayor of the City of Stockbridge, Georgia. This presentation is on behalf of his service to our nation, his ancestral beginnings as a descendant of the Saponi Native American tribe, and his family, lineage, and heritage, presented February 2012, compiled by Dr. Mike Moon, for the citizens and history of the City of Stockbridge, Georgia, to continue the proud heritage of our public and leadership.
Thank you.
This is for Mr. Ray Gibson. you, sir. This is in the honor of Black History Month. This proclamation is bestowed upon the following member of the Council of Stockbridge, Georgia, Ray Gibson, Administrator. In the month of February, in the year of our Lord, 2012, at Stockbridge, by the Stockbridge Historical Committee, Dr. Mike Moon, for their commitment to the betterment of humanity. Each one of you will be getting one of these. And this is particular, in this particular piece I'm giving to Ray is about Dr. King and his ancestral lineage. Could you open that for me, please? I've been a busy man, young man. When you have lung cancer, you have to hurry. Okay? In reference to Historical Preservation Committee, hello, sir. Oh, you. Dear Mr. Gibson, it is with great honor and distinction that I present this to you for your efforts to not only preserve the history of Stockbridge, Georgia, but to preserve the cemeteries of that city. It gives me pleasure to present this to you with best regards, Dr. Michael A. Moon, lifetime member of the National Trust for Historic Preservation, Washington, D.C. And this piece says, this is to show appreciation to the following citizen of the County of Henry, State of Georgia, for their diligence in the promotion and protection of the local history of the said area above through their hard work. The following person is recognized, Ray Gibson, this 11th day of February in the year of our Lord, 2012, with the honor and presentation with the honor and presentation bestowed upon them for caring and with sacrifice to themselves for such hard work. Presented by Dr. Michael A. Moon, permanent member of the National Trust for Historic Preservation. That's for Ray Gibson. And then each one of these folders is a pamphlet that I have put together. This booklet is to honor Black History Month for Stockbridge, Georgia, February 2012. This information was compiled by myself, and the information is for the betterment of mankind here in our city of Stockbridge, Henry County, Georgia, and is presented to everyone on the council, and each one of you is getting one. This is for the mayor, and Mr. Alicon, Mr. Cochran, Ms. Bushman, she gets a pretty purple one. Yeah. Mr. Victor Steinberg, and Mr. Alfonso Thomas. And I want to say on behalf of myself and to history, I'm trying to present all I can and get it out as quick as I can. And this is for not just them, it's for everybody in this room, it's for everybody in this city. And I want to thank you very much.
Those who don't know Dr. Moon, he's done a lot of work here. He's a walking history of everything we got around here. If you don't know about Stockbridge, call Mike. Next we have Pastor Breyer, and I don't have what the comment is. Pastor Breyer.
Even Mayor, members of council. So great to be here this evening. I hope at 92 I still have a driver's license. More importantly, I can walk in equal air as she was. That's a blessing in itself. And what has happened this evening is very good. Mine is more of a challenge. And I'm wondering how we can do it. And 22nd of November, Fort Mac and Fort Killing were closed. And a night very important happened to me. I found out I didn't have any place to take my recycling goods. Cans, bottles, newspapers, corrugated cardboard. Right now in my garage I have about 7 55-gallon plastic bags. Cans, I get to the church, they're using it for fundraisers. But the bottles that are made out of plastic, I would want to challenge the mayor and the city council, my good friend over here. Let's get recycling here. I think if we're looking for revenue, recycling is the way to go. All over the country, Northeast, still give 5 cents for bottles. Rob, I just take my girlfriend out with bottle collection. I collect the bottles, take them in, get my nipples back, take her to the movie. What can we do? That's my challenge. And it would be a great source of revenue for this city if we could start doing some recycling. There are a lot of models out there, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And New York can prove that it's such a rich blessing that New York City had to have police officers to make sure that the corrugated boxes that were put out weren't stolen by people who realized what a rich blessing it was for them. And I would like to challenge you as a official body to look into recycling and make it a reality and watch what it will do for our land, our fish, our animals. And, you know, they swallow these things and it's really bad for just about anything. To see them on the sides of the roads, off on the exits, when people know they can put them in their trash and have them picked up once a week, and maybe the city will be a cleaner place too. That's what I'd like to challenge you.
Thank you. Staff note that we're looking to. And that's all I have on the people in the public comments. Anyone that did not get to sign up wants to speak. Okay, if there's not, a motion to adjourn and go into executive session.
Mr. Mayor, we would request that the council approve an executive session on 2 issues tonight, one to discuss a personnel matter and the other to allow me to update you on the litigation matter. We'd also request that you amend the agenda to provide, if there is a necessity following the executive session, for any action to be taken on the matter, on any of the matters that are discussed in the executive session, that the agenda be amended to permit that as well.
Okay, now the motion.
I second.
All in favor? I vote. Okay. And we will be back. Mike's back on. I have a motion to convene
Mayor Stewart,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that the Mayor Pro Tem signs an affidavit certifying that the discussions in the relevant executive session were limited to litigation.
We have 2. Good second.
And also, we need one for the Mayor Pro Tem to sign regarding the time when the mayor was not there, and then one for the mayor to sign regarding the personnel issue when he was present.
Which one do you make?
I'll make a motion to allow the mayor to sign an affidavit stating that in his absence, all we did was speak about the litigation.
I'll second.
Actually, the reverse.
Just the reverse of it.
Sign is the one that says in his presence, that's all it was.
I signed one for personnel.
Right.
So I need a motion for personnel. Mr. Steinberg, is that you? Yes. Have a second for personnel.
That's it.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, you. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0. Now we'll do the one for the Mayor Pro Tem. A motion.
I make a motion again that the Mayor Pro Tem signs an affidavit indicating that the discussions in executive session were limited to legislative information.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay. we have the upcoming meetings and events. All meetings will be held at City Hall except when noted. Working session, the next working session is Tuesday, March the 6th at 7 p.m. Regular council meeting will be March the 12th at 7 p.m. Black History Month Gala, Friday, the March the 16th at 7 to 9 p.m. at Merle Landers Center. And Mayor's Community Bike Ride starts on March, Sunday the 18th at 3 p.m. here at City Hall.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Steinberg.
we have one addition, please. We'd like to inform the citizens that several of the city council members will be holding an open house here at City Hall on March the 22nd from 6 to 8 o'clock p.m. And those folks who are unable to attend regular city council meetings, hopefully will have a chance to come in and speak with those of us who are here, and looking forward to meeting with you at that time.
Okay. Anything else? I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Second, all in favor? 2, 3, 4, 5.